Illinois Stories is brought to you by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, Illinois Arts Council Agency, and by the supportive viewers like you. Thank you.
Hello, welcome to Illinois Stories. I'm Mark McDonald in Jacksonville. There's a story about how 3 Jacksonville buildings of historical significance have been rehabbed, modernized, and are now being used fruitfully rather than watching them sort of waste away. And it's a very interesting story because it all happens to a man who lived in California before he moved to Jacksonville and was brought here sort of serendipitously. I'm in front of one of the Ayers mansions on State Street. Jethro, it is very interesting how you came to be here. You were moving across country.
Yes.
With an organ, with a theater organ.
Yes.
In the process of your move, you had learned what property values were in Jacksonville, Illinois, and said, I gotta go there.
Yeah,
and you had never been to Jacksonville before.
And I just sold 4 units in San Francisco for nosebleed prices, and I was just following Warren Buffett's axiom of being fearful when others are greedy, like in San Francisco, and then coming here where everyone is thrown in the towel. And when everyone tried to talk me out of moving here, they said, what do you want to come to Illinois for? It's over for Illinois. And I said, keep talking because you're talking me into it. Because Buffett says when you hear that kind of language, that's where you'll find contrarian investors like him and me, because we know that opportunity is at its ripest, and you can't get the average sheep of 90% of them to pull the trigger at that point. But I knew it was opportunity, and I knew what prices were in San Francisco, and I just wanted to buy high-quality properties like this at a deep discount, which I did.
In an earlier program, we toured the Congregational Church,
yes,
which you bought from the congregation and allows them to use, and is now a performance venue called Lovejoy Hall.
That's right.
So we've done that program, but you've also bought 2 other historic buildings. One is this Ayers mansion, where we're standing at 1052.
1052
okay,
at the corner
State
of
Street.
Caldwell, and the University of Illinois, the Illinois College is just a half a block that way to their offset entrance there.
Perfect.
Yes.
Now this is some 6,000 square feet, right?
This is 6,400 square feet on 2 levels, and then there's another level I'm going to incorporate eventually once I find proper management for the other bed and breakfast. See, that's bed and breakfast. This is bed without the breakfast.
Okay.
Because it has kitchens in it, and where you cook your own breakfast.
And really, this Airbnb is
These are
what you're
Airbnb
doing.
stays,
Yeah.
and Airbnb is so wonderful because you have to maintain a 4-star rating to stay on their platform, and I've got all 5-star ratings, and I've been designated a superhost already.
Superhost.
And I'm even going to do all my bookings down there, even though that's a bed and breakfast, through them, because they charge you a small 3% fee or something, and then they do all the bookwork, and they put the money in the bank, and it eliminates all sorts of bookkeeping.
Now I'm going to ask you a question that I would never ask because it's not polite, but I'm going to ask you because you don't mind.
No.
What did you pay for this property?
Okay, this property, I had already bought the other mansion, and I was walking by here one day, and I saw 3 people, an old man with a cane, and his realtor and the appraiser, and I guessed who they were, and they were about to. This was on a Saturday or a Friday. And I was about to leave on the California Zephyr back to my ranch in California. So I said to them, I said, is this property going to be for sale? They said, yes, it's going on multiple listing on Monday. I said, walk me through it. If I like it, we're going to escrow on Monday. So anyway, I finally talked him into a price of $265,000 for this entire beautiful mansion. And when I get the penthouse done for my own living space, it will be 9,600 square feet.
Wow.
In San Francisco, a house like that, the starting bid would be $30 million, and there would be overs.
Yeah. Listen, take us through it, will you?
Oh, absolutely. Well, this is an exciting house.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Jethro, let's step back into history here.
Yes.
Look at these mammoth doors, my goodness.
Yeah, this was once one large home, but it's been converted to 6 individual apartments back in 1933 during the Great Depression, when they had to do it as a matter of necessity.
Okay, we had heard a little bit about Mr. Ayers, who was the banker, and he had his fingers in a lot of other stuff too, and he built this house.
The house we're going to see belonged to Augustus Ayers, and this was his favorite son, who he designated would succeed him at his death. And when he died in 1902, the gentleman and that lived here, John Allen Ayers, succeeded him at the bank. And this house was lovingly built by Mr. Ayers for him and his family.
Okay, so the reason we see it in the condition it is now, well, not the condition, with the footprint that it has now is because
Yes.
it later became apartments. So
Became
there are
apartments.
walls here that weren't
Yes.
here when Mr. Ayers had the house.
That's right. It was
Okay.
a 6,000, there's 3,200 square feet on each level, so the two levels that were the designated living space other than the children's area
Yeah.
were 6,400 square feet, which is a good size home.
I love these glasses.
Yes, those are
cut
original
glass.
from Philadelphia, the highest quality.
Beautiful. Isn't that beautiful?
And everything Mr. Ayers bought was of high quality. When I bought the mansion, this stair lamp on here was black from the years and
Oh,
years of
yeah.
tarnish. And everyone said, oh, it's a black metal fixture. And I said, no, it isn't. So I had fine finishes, who also restored my unbelievable chandeliers in the other place.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Had that restored at great cost.
Yeah.
And then all the wood was all banged up. The doors had scratches and nicks and everything.
Yeah.
So I had it all completely redone to a historical varnish and stripped down and no varathanes and things like that. Everything was done so that this is just like it was when it was new.
The carpeting looks brand new.
It looks brand new, but that is an 1890s design that I had researched and duplicated by a custom mill that custom ordered the carpet for
Wow.
me to make sure that it was totally period correct in appearance. And the stairs were redone, all the wood finishes, as I say, and these doors, as you can see, are 9 feet tall, solid wood with concave and convex detail. They're just absolutely stunning.
They are.
Woodwork you can't duplicate anymore.
And what about this mirror?
This mirror was given by Mr. Augustus Ayers, who had the other house, to his grandson when they moved in as a present, as a housewarming present.
Oh, it's nice.
And when we go in and see this unit, you'll see that I was fortunate to have Ed Killam of Antiquarius Antiques find me a precisely exact period correct match to this kind of furniture.
Okay, well, let's take a good look at it now,
Take a good look
because
at
we're
that
going to
detail.
go.
That's called High East Lake Victorian.
Uh-huh.
And it's a wonderful style, and it's just before the Craftsman period came in, where they were starting to simplify things. And as you come in here,
We'll go into the suite.
we go into this suite. This is Suite A. We call it our grand suite because it's so grand. The bedroom has a grand piano. Can you believe
All right.
this? Look. And you'll see this period correct bed that I was so fortunate that Ed Killam found for me.
There it is. Yep, there it is. It does
With
look
a beautiful-
very similar.
With
Yeah.
beautiful walnut burl. It's just stunning. And look at a grand piano, and you can still roller skate around in here. And a sofa sitting area.
Plenty of room. Now,
And here's a fireplace made by his workshop and his tile factory. He had many businesses.
so he had a mill?
Yes, he had his own sawmill, plus a fine wood turning shop,
my goodness.
plus a tile factory, plus a brick factory. All the bricks from the Congregational Church and this building and many other significant buildings came from Mr. Ayers' brick factory.
I see.
He was a smart businessman.
Yeah.
He didn't just build a brick factory for his own house. He built other houses for
Yeah.
rich people.
And
here.
while you're at it, you might as well use your own bricks and save a little money while you're making.
Exactly.
Okay.
No, he was a very clever businessman.
But it's beautiful too.
Stunning,
I mean, whoever
yes.
he had craftsmen working for him that really knew what they were doing.
Yes, he did. Everything Mr. Ayers did was top quality.
And this
over
looks
the
very.
top.
This looks like the East Lake design
Yes,
too.
it's a matching set. This matches there.
and like you say, this mirror matches the other mirror. We're
Right.
very close anyway.
Yes, and so this suite
This
has
gives you a
this-
good look at the size of these doors.
Yes, 9
foot
feet,
doors.
and look at how it's solid wood. We're not talking veneer here, gentlemen. We're talking solid wood.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Convex on this side, concave on that side. These are solid, no veneer. And look at the scale of everything. It's just grand.
Remarkable.
And now we come into the living room area of this apartment.
You have so you have one unit on this side,
Yes,
one unit on that side,
yes.
one unit upstairs, one unit across the way.
No, let's see. Upstairs, I have. Let's see. I've got 1, 2, 3. I have 4 units upstairs and 2 units downstairs.
Okay.
A total of 6 units, but only 4 are being rented because I keep one permanently rented, and then one is for storing supplies and linens. And this
And then
has
you've
a
got a
formal
full
dining
bath-
room that
yeah.
doubles as another bedroom when they need it. And it has even a period correct desk from the period for a roll top desk where you can do your computer work. And I hope you don't mind this shameless self-promotion. But anybody coming to Jacksonville can rent this entire suite complete with a kitchen for $118 a night.
There
and
you
sleep
go.
6 people.
No wonder you're busy.
Yes.
And then, of course, you have a full kitchen, which always helps.
Yes, we have a nice kitchen, and I purposely didn't do the granite countertops to modernize it. I kept everything like it was years ago, with the old-fashioned sink and everything.
Yeah.
So
neat.
people can come in here and feel what it was like to live in a grand mansion in those days.
Yes. So 6 units. They're not all like this, but you have 6 units here.
Right, yes. Now,
Well, you
now
know-
there's another unit, identical footprint as this. It's directly above us, and both of those units are 118. Then I have what I call my family unit, which is right across the way here, and it's sleeps 5, and it's a nice unit. Then I have a very inexpensive unit up there that's just a 1-bedroom apartment that sleeps 4. Yeah.
You know what I'd like to do? You said that the 3rd floor, which was a children's
You gotta
play
see
area.
that, yes.
Well, I think we want to see that next.
Yeah,
Can you
let's,
take us up
let's do
there?
that next.
Okay.
Yeah, because you can just trust me. All the units are lovely. You can see that I took a lot of attention to quality detail here, kind of channeling Mr. Ayers. His spirit kind of lingers here and gets me to want to do things high quality, because that's how he was. Here we are.
We're on the, what, 3rd floor?
This is the attic space.
Attic space.
We call it the atelier in those days.
And I think you said this is 3,000 square feet up here.
3,200, yes.
3,200, which is bigger than most houses.
Yes, yes.
And it's wide open.
Wide open.
There's not a wall in the place. And there's a lot of remnants here from when Mr. Ayers had his kids up here, because this was the kids' playing space.
This was the kids' winter play space, so they didn't have to go out and get their tushies cold in the winter. You know? They were rich, privileged kids.
Yeah.
And he and their grandfather doted on them and even built this wonderful swing for them.
Oh, it's still here. It's still here.
It's still here, and his blacksmith shop made those rings, and his wood shop made this. And that was a Christmas surprise.
There's
the following
your
Christmas he got for the
swing.
kids.
Oh, if you can't
so
get
one
outside,
adult
you
can
can
sit on
still
one
swing.
side, and then the kids can sit on here where they can hold on. Imagine what spoiled kids they were.
Oh man, and you can see it from here too. Over there's a chin-up bar, and no matter what age or size you are,
Yes, it's
there's a
adjustable.
place
Yes.
for you to adjust it to your
Yes.
height. So it's not all fun. You got to work out a little bit
Right.
too. You got to
And
exercise.
the kids
a
had
little
their
bit.
lessons up here, the governess. There were 2 light fixtures. The kids would be on one side and the teacher on the other, and they could learn their lessons by gaslight.
Is that? Oh, that's what this is here.
That's a gaslight fixture. See, they
Oh,
could swing it around to
sure.
see so the teacher
Okay.
can see their work or the kids
That's
can see their work.
terrific. That's terrific.
And all the original shades to the house are here. Sandwich glass, rare. These go for $200-300 a piece if you can find one from the 1800s.
Yeah, and you've got
perfect
a
shape.
number of
I've got
them
them
you
all.
found.
Every one that was in the house I have here.
You found some other interesting stuff up here. Mr. Ayers, he didn't like garden variety anything, did
No,
he?
even his toilet had to be special. I mean, it's humorous, but if you get a shot of this here, you'll see that he ordered this from Lenox, China, in a custom order to be of the ancient Roman style, carving on there. And in here you can see the Lenox
Right
label.
on the inside of the bowl, Lenox.
Literally, Lenox, China. He couldn't have an ordinary American standard
Oh,
toilet. It had to
my
be Lenox,
goodness.
China.
That's hilarious.
And this was before the days of the toilet seat, so they had a push-up throne on there of elaborate proportions, so
Now-
you could do your business in comfort.
This is going to be your apartment up here,
Yes,
right?
eventually.
And this will be you're going to be your sleeping
That'll be
area.
my sleeping area, and I don't want to close anything off. I want to leave the property in integrity of no walls and just put screens around it. And that'll be a formal, what do you call it, walk-in closet there, and a big bathroom on the other side.
Yeah, yeah.
Dining area here, kitchen over there, and over here we're going to have an entertainment space.
You know, I'd like to know more about this because I don't know how you came up with the idea, but what you're thinking of, this is like a band shell,
It would
kind
be a
of for
band
very
shell, or
small
known as an
group.
acoustic shell. And they make modular ones for musicians to be under, so they can really have the music envelop them, and they become part of the music.
Yeah.
And this will be perfect because I'm going to put plate glass, smoke glass mirror surface on there, and then continue this footprint of Bayview out here to make a little stage, just big enough for a jazz singer, a bass and drums, and a piano.
Yeah, and the sound will carry right on into
Yes,
the room.
or a classical guitar player could sit here and just put themselves into bliss with the sound that would emanate from here.
Yep, yep. Okay, so your bedroom's over there.
Yes.
Your bandstand's over here. Your kitchen.
Formal
is that
dining
your
room will be
kitchen?
over there.
Oh, that's
Kitchen
the
will be
dining
here.
room.
And I have a beautiful old 1880s bar, a bar from a Montana gold mining era bar that had a secret compartment for guns and and gold coins in it, and this will be my little, so I can entertain and do my cooking here and still visit with my company.
And you're going to still keep it wide
Oh,
open?
keep it
Not
wide
gonna impose
open.
anything in a wall at all?
And everything, and there's things on, we don't have time for it now, but on these walls, on these posts, are things where the children put their height and what height they were in a certain, and they put their names and initials, you know, how tall they were in the 1890s. And he had 5 children.
Okay, now let's talk about your man cave. Where's that going to be?
That's going to be over here. This is
As
going
if
to
this
be
isn't all a man cave.
But it's all that, pretty much that, but this is going to be an 1890s man cave with something a man cave would be in 1890s. It's going to have a Brunswick pool table with the big fat legs.
Yeah.
And then I've got some, I'm very fortunate to have a dozen original sepia tone cheesecake from the Folies Berger in Paris, where they're all framed and they'll go on here, and they're literally naked ladies, but in a very diaphanous, classical sort of thing. And now it would be considered high camp. It isn't even something you could get excited over, but it would be real fun and period correct. And I thought it'd be fun to duplicate what a bachelor pad would be like in those days.
Yep. Now, one of those is going to have to be your bathroom, I guess.
Yeah, that's going to be a bathroom, huge. It's too dark in there probably to see.
Yeah, it's real dark in there, but this is the bathroom over here. That's what.
Yeah, that's going to be the bathroom with that fancy toilet with a pull chain.
Oh, you're going to use that, huh?
Oh yes, I'm going to. Matter of fact, Chalmer Herring, whom you're going to meet, who is a master restorationist, is going to rebuild one of those throne chairs from the 1890s that went on that toilet, and a real one, and duplicate it totally. And it'll be people will go in. There'll be a grand experience. It has a wooden thing that's flush with a recessed knob you pull up, and that's where you sit down, and then you put it back when you're done. Because that was before the days of toilet seats. They hadn't been invented yet.
Sure, gotcha.
So I want to make it a fun space.
Well, this is going to be a lot of fun for you when you actually can get started on this. But let me backtrack a little bit.
Yes.
Before you move in here, you're going to move into the other mansion.
For the first 2 years, I've got to go into the other mansion and be the innkeeper and be hands-on to make sure that the same 5-star service that won me the award as superhost at this property with Airbnb is going to be duplicated there. I can't take a chance, no matter how good the management is, of somebody not doing it to a super 5-star standard. And
so that's where you'll move next.
Yes.
When it's ready for you.
Me and my dog, yes.
Can we go over there now and take a look at it?
We can go now and take a look. It is a work in progress, but I will be moving in there sometime in early December. And then I hope you can come back when it's all done out. In springtime, we're going to have a grand opening when everything's really done. And then we'll invite you and make you a special guest, maybe put you and Randy up here in one of these suites. That'll be my treat. I can promise you right now, you will get one of the grand suites to stay in it. And bring your wife too.
Let's go see this other Ayers house that you're proud of.
Yeah, the other one was what started it all.
Well, we've just walked 2 blocks east from your other house.
Block and a half, actually.
A block and a half. Okay,
Yes.
This is Augustus Ayers' house,
Yes.
right? And he built this this is considerably older than the house we were just in.
He built a brick factory in 1854, commenced this house construction, then completed it and moved in 1857.
What did he do that made him so much money?
Okay, Augustus Ayers had many businesses, and he built off of the wealth of his father, D.B. Ayers, David Ball Ayers, who gave him 6 acres of land on what's now where the bank building is, and he tore the drugstore down and built the bank building. And anyway, he also managed to acquire the railroad that took all the food to the Union Army. See, he could see this thing coming, and he bought tens of thousands of acres, and then he enlisted strong families that couldn't afford to buy a farm. He said, I'll make you a farmer if you'll work your butts off and grow what I tell you to grow, and then I'm going to take 10% of everything that you make from the government.
Put it on my railroad and I'll sell it to the Union
but meanwhile,
Army.
I'll give you 100% farm finance, 100% as long as your kids and you are sober and you work hard every day, 6 days a week. And that's what happened. And he built, and a lot of these homes that were built in the late 60s and 70s in the 1800s were the farmers that got well, that he started from nothing. And the farmers built these grand mansions all along here.
Now, this one would have been one of the first ones, and like we were noticing,
this was the grandest home.
In 1854, there weren't a lot of brick homes. There were maybe some, but he owned a brick factory, so he could do
you'd
that.
had to go to to a big house in Chicago to get anything
This
close
is
to this.
8,000 square feet. That's huge.
It's a huge house.
And you're going to live in it for a while.
Yes.
But then it's going to become, and did you say Airbnb?
There's going to be, no, not Air, no, see, Airbnb is down there.
Oh, that's where we
bed
just
without
were.
the breakfast.
Okay.
This is bed with the breakfast.
Ah, okay, all right.
And because of that, I legally, either me or my designated employee has to live in the house.
Gotcha.
When it's this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because there'll be people living in the bedrooms, and if something happens, you got to be there
Yeah.
to take care
And
of it.
and you're thinking by December you'll have it where you
I
want
will be
it.
in December with at least 4 of the suites done.
Yeah. Can we go inside and see what's
Certainly
done?
we can, and hopefully Chalmer Herring is here, the restorationist. I hope he hasn't gone to lunch.
Creak, creak, creak. It's old, all
Yes,
right.
you can hear the
It's
squeaky
old.
door.
It's a long reach down to this doorknob.
This doorknob is way down here. You can see me, it's right just above my knee.
Yeah.
And the reason why is Mr. Ayers himself was about 5'3", but he was stocky and muscular. And his wife was only 4'9" tall. Like Governor Duncan's mansion down there, she was 4'10". They were about the same size. So he accommodated his wife and had all the doorknobs so that she could
Kept
reach
her from
comfortably.
developing back trouble,
Yes.
right? Having to reach
Yes.
down all the time.
And here's
There's
where,
a Lincoln.
according to female.
There's a Lincoln legacy in this house. isn't
Yes, Lincoln was put here to receive people in 1861 when he was on his way from Springfield to Washington to claim the presidency. But he wanted to come and thank his biggest financial supporter during his campaign, which was Augustus Ayers and his brother Marshall. So he came here and they had a reception for him with a ball going on in the ballroom next door, you'll see. And they had the band playing on the second landing because Mrs. Ayers said the horns were too loud. They had horn bands in those days.
Oh my goodness,
We
yeah.
have guitar bands now. They had horn
Well, you don't
bands
need
now.
microphones if you got
No,
horns, that's
exactly.
for sure.
And he stayed here, and his hand was swollen, according to the female carry down history. And he said, "I can't shake another hand. It's so painful." She said, "No problem, Mr. President." And she got a glass of lemonade for him and a plate of food. "Just hold this. We'll tell him."
And you won't have to shake
they'll-
hands.
And tell him to walk through the reception line quickly because we'll tell him you have to get on to Washington, which he did. And that's why she
That's
saved
funny.
his poor hand. It's a true
Oh,
story
that's
according
funny.
to the female handed down oral history.
There's
That's the formal dining room
He
there.
loved the Italian, that's a Tuscan archway.
Tuscan
He
Italian
loved
arch,
that,
yes.
Yeah.
And the doors are in the middle, 11 some feet high.
Oh, wow. This is just immense.
Yeah, grand scale.
Let's go to the ballroom.
Yes. And here
Look
you
how
can
wide
see
this
one
hall
of the
is.
10 fireplaces.
How wide? 10 fireplaces?
10 fireplaces.
Oh, my
And
goodness.
this one here, and there's a matching one that's being restored by our restorationist.
Mm-hmm.
And these were brought on long ships from Italy, from Florence, Italy, and then brought around the Cape of Florida, and then up the Illinois River and over by dray horses to be brought here. That's
Goodness.
how wealthy Mr. Ayers was.
You know, you have
Whatever
been-
he wanted, he could get.
You have been very open with us about this, and I'll ask you this question. If
Yes.
you don't want to answer it, say I don't want to answer
Okay.
it. But this must cost millions to restore.
Well, the realtor kind of told me a story to sell the house. I bought the house for $150,000, and he said, "Oh, you can restore this for $1 million and do it out beautiful." I said, "Well, that'll be fine because then I'll have $1 million change left over." But what he didn't tell me is it's going to cost more than $2 million to restore this
my
house.
goodness, yeah.
But the good news is, at first I used to go look in the mirror and say, "You want to see the dumbest person ever came to Jacksonville, put $2 million in a house?" But then I transformed that into, well, this is legacy. When I die, they're going to say, that old son of a gun left us the most important house in wonderful shape. So to me, it's like leaving a legacy. So I just separate this from my normal ruthless business thinking and say this is a heritage legacy investment.
Yeah, well,
so
that's-
now I'm happy about it because I know I'm going to leave a wonderful legacy for this town.
Oh, and it's going to be beautiful. I mean, you've
Yes.
got plans, and I wish I had time to listen to them, but
Yeah.
Jethro, if we could, when you get through here, will you invite us back? We'd
I
like
will,
to do a
because there's
story
some
here.
surprises. There's going to be something, we're going to leave a teaser for that
Okay,
show.
all right.
Because this room is going to be transformed in a way that will be stunning, and I'll let your listeners and viewers see it when we come back in the spring of next year when it's all done
we will.
out.
We definitely will come back.
There's your teaser.
Next spring for
Okay.
8,000 square feet of Tuscan heaven, I guess
Yes,
is what we're going to
yes.
call it. I hope you've enjoyed these programs here from Jacksonville with one of our newest residents, the Lovejoy Performing Area, Lovejoy Hall, and also these two Ayers homes which have been bought and are now being lovingly restored. With another Illinois story in Jacksonville, I'm Mark McDonald. Thanks for watching.
Illinois Stories is brought to you by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, Illinois Arts Council Agency, and by the support of viewers like you. Thank you.